First, we have the one, the unconscious whole, the uninterrupted ecology, within which all things are connected. The one descends into two, the polarity of distinction and the birth of both language and the conscious mind. The one is unconscious. Descending into the system of distinction, it becomes language and proceeds to develop in a system of flow, a system of evolution. The polarity becomes 3. The 3 becomes 4. The 4 becomes 5. The system grows in complexity. With the system comes the curse and the blessing, the cult rank and the outlaw. Because when there's only one, all things are connected and all things are unconscious. As we divide the one, you have the good and the bad. You have up and down. You have dark and light. And as that system refines, it always has a remainder. The remainder is that part of the system that excludes, that creates the illusion of separation that is outside the wall. The system is the wall, and the system creates a barrier between that which is the wall and that which is outside of the wall. It creates a remainder, and with it, an outlaw. Now, in order for consciousness to emerge, we need the system. There have been 10,000 cults in human history, 10,000 cultures, 10,000 language, and each one divided the one in a slightly different way, emphasizing different pieces. Each one creates a slightly different pattern and different symbols for the slices. However, every system, as the uninterrupted ecology, is refracted into the delusion of particles, the delusion of pieces through language. Every system has a remainder, a piece left over. There's always an outlaw. And it is the job of the majority. You say the majority are inside the system. It's the job of the majority to create the system that has the greatest complexity and the greatest symmetry, because that system will have the smallest remainder. That system's boundary will exclude the fewest number of people, the fewest number of ideas, the fewest number of living consciousness. And yet, it is the nature of the system to create lines. It is the nature of a line to delineate that which is blessed and that which is cursed. Now, that which is cursed is outside the line, is outside of the system. The people who fall through the cracks, the unemployed, the addictions that seem to have no remedy, the unfairness compounded by unfairness, compounded by unfairness that nobody sees and nobody wants to look at. The cursed are outside of the line, cast by the line, by the system, into the role of outlaw, outside of the law, outside of the system. And it is the role of the majority to refine the system to have a lower remainder. And this is done by taking a simpler system or a chauvinistic system that is very complex in one segment of the psyche, but leaves a large remainder in another area. This is achieved with greater symmetry and complexity. The more symmetrically and complexly the sphere is refracted into language and into a system, the smaller the remainder, the space that is reserved for the cursed and the outlaw. It is the job of those in the system to expand the system, to encompass more of what is. And it is the job of the outlaw, of the cursed, to advocate for the expansion of the system in a way that will include them, in a way that will bless them, and or to advocate for the destruction of the system that curses them. It is the nature of all consciousness, the nature of all living things, to seek sustainable high levels of multidimensional well-being and to avoid chronic and unnecessary suffering. The system that curses a minority, that outlaws a minority, is the greatest enemy of that minority's well-being. The system curses the minority by existing. And it is the nature of a cursed minority to seek to expand or to destroy those systems which will not expand, to bless them with inclusion. When you exclude a part of the psyche and give it no redeeming role in the tapestry of life, that piece of the psyche inside each person must undermine the image, the identity that condemns it by refusing to participate, by sabotaging, by revolting, by blaming, by rebelling against that which will not embrace and include it. The most effective and the only way to bring to bring peace between a cursed facet of self and a blessed facet of self is to expand the system, the idea of self, to include a sacred place for that which was once cursed, once blessed with a sacred role. The enemy becomes ally. As the ally becomes ally to its enemy, right? It goes both ways. When we create a line that curses some part of ourself, as the cursed facet of the self outside the line, it becomes our curse that seeks to undermine us. It is the job of the majority of the organizers of the system to continually push the boundary of the system out to include more and more by creating more specialized and complex roles within the system that have space for more honored places, honored titles around the system. Always, it is the rebel, it is the outlaw, it is the cursed one who curses, who challenges the system to grow, who challenges human consciousness to evolve. Human consciousness is a system refracted with language, with constructs of language called paradigms. Some paradigms curse 50% of everything in existence. Polarizing paradigms that presume an innate superiority of one polarity or one pole relative to the other generate the illusion of 50% waste. But the system is just a construction of the conscious mind. If we delete the words, we delete the delineation, we return to the unconscious whole, in which all things are, in which all things are connected, in which, without a single atom, the entire possibility field of the universe collapses. Without one possibility, in the field of possibility, the entire field ceases to exist. In an uninterrupted ecology, an unconscious whole that transcends language, the existence of one thing allows the existence of its seeming opposite. The welcoming of one possibility makes room for all the others.